So as the decorations come down from the tree, that brings an end to the old Christmas period. And today's result for Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park brings an end to our ambitious playoff hopes. We'll talk about the latest result and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, this time picking apart the old North West Lancashire derby, or one of the old Lancashire derbies, Blackburn Rovers up against Preston, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related. We're going to all here. No more Ruski. That's right, folks. Rovers took on their rivals from down the road, about 15 miles to be exact, taking on Preston North End, and the ultimate result ending up in a big, fat, hairy 1-1 draw. So let's take a look at the match then in all the numbers and all the glory. 19,963 folks were in attendance for this game. 1-1 it ended. Two first half goals before 18 minutes on the clock. One by Adam Armstrong, who we are pinning our hopes on right here, right now, to try and steamroll our season in the right direction, but it doesn't appear to be going that way. His goal was a nicely worked goal. Bit of a scramble in the box in the end, but up popped Armstrong, put the ball back in there. And you know what? 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, whatever you want to call it, I thought we were up for this one. I thought we were going to get a couple goals nice and early, sit back, take it easy, and take them all 3 points. But no, up stepped Josh Harrop with an absolute screamer, nearly ripped the roof off the net. I think it was a set piece that ultimately landed in favour for Preston, and then Harrop with the rifle put that top bins, and it was all square, 1-1 in the end. In a game that kind of went kind of south after half time. You'd think with what was on the line, a bit of local banter on the cards, that maybe both one of the two sides, if not both of the sides, would come out with all guns blazing. But Preston definitely looked like they were coming in for a big fat point, and that's what they got. So they'll be happy with that return of the 1 point after a full 90. Rovers, though, 2 points dropped massively. We actually had 14 shots, believe it or not. I will tell you how many of those were on target. Probably not very many. 9 for Preston. We actually had more corners as well. 6 to their 2. We had more dribbles and the aerial tackles as well. 138 of those compared to their 15. And Preston had more tackles on the ground. So let's take a look, interestingly, at the starting 11s now, shall we? First and foremost, the hosts, Walton between sticks, Bell, Adebayo, Lenihan and Nyambi made at the back four. Travis, Evans, those defensive midfield slots, Holtby, Armstrong, Downing and Gallagher, the trio up top. We did lose Evans very, very early on, not long after the goal, in fact. Up stepped Bradley Johnson, who I thought was a bit of a bore, very, like 2 or 3 yards off pace compared to the rest of the boys. And considering he had pretty much the whole game to play, he just looked a little sluggish. And I was very excited when we signed him in the summer, and I thought he was the missing link, that sort of bulldog that we needed in midfield. But he's been very slow, very sluggish. Yes, he does have a rocket on his foot, but we don't see that side of him at all, if at all. Anyway, just a couple of games, 2 games a season, we'll see that have it, but the rest have been absolute. It's a bit of a squib. So yeah, I'm a little bit There's been links for Evans to leave to join his Northern Ireland coach Michael O'Neill at Stoke the past week or so. I don't know if that will now disappear along with Bradley Dack's contributions this season, but I think that Travis's best partner has been Corey Evans, and if we lose him, we're going to lose something that can drive us forward. Also, Nyambi picked up an injury as well. He was definitely the best player on the pitch for me for while he was on. In fact, let's take a look at those match ratings now here. I've got 5 for Walton, Bell got a 6, Adebayo got a 6, Lenihan had a 6. I've given Nyambi an 8. He only played about 60 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that, but giving him an 8. He gets my man of the match. Travis with a 7, obviously tenacity with there, always there. Corey Evans with a 4, Holtby with a 5. Again, Evans gets the 4 purely because he was only on for 5 minutes. Holtby with a 5. I'm not. He has flashes. In fact, he might be a bit harsh. Actually, he did have 2 of our best efforts. I think in the first half to extend our lead. So maybe a bit harsh on him. Maybe I'll give him a 6. I'll scrap that. Give him a 6. Armstrong with a 7 with the goal. Downing showing his true quality throughout the game with passes, vision, also with a 7, and Sam Gallagher with a 5. You know what? I'm repeating. I'm on like a Twitter repeat, just like everybody else. Why are we playing him out wide? It frustrates me to see this. Armstrong, yes, stick him out wide. He has the pace. Gallagher needs to be up top. I think we need to change our style of play. I think now that the Dak's out for the season, a 4-4-2 is probably best. If you stick Graham up top alongside Gallagher, and then use Armstrong on the left, maybe get another an accompanying winger on the right-hand side, and then maybe that would work in our favour. But ultimately, this formation, this style of play without Dak is kind of going backwards. So that needs to be looked at and addressed. Anyway, let's look at our visitors lineup here. We had Rudd between the sticks, Rafferty, Bauer, Davies and Clark. Into the midfield, we had Harrop, Pearson. James Linton made his debut for Preston as the referee. Gallagher, Barkhuizen and Maguire and Brown. Yes, that's right. 12 players on the pitch for Preston today as James Linton. Absolute stormer for him. He's going to put that down in his notebook because he was absolutely one-sided, giving everything he could to Preston's favour. The king of shithousery, Pearson in there, constantly rubbing us up the wrong way, and obviously sleeping with James Linton. He'll be going to his house later on, and they'll have a bit of cheeky afters, won't they? Those two lover boys in the middle of the park there. But yeah, that was Preston's lineup. Let's take a look at the some more stats and figures for you. I did say 14 shots for Rovers, only 4 on target, so a whopping 8 off target for Rovers. As for Preston, they had 9 shots, 2 on target for them. Obviously a goal apiece. Down the bottom there, you can see where those goals and shots took place. Armstrong's right down the middle, Barkhuizen's top right bins. What else have we got? We actually had more touches, considerably more touches, 591 compared to their 486, a good 100 clear. Passes as well, we had more passes, 386 to their 292. What else can I throw at you? Yeah, well, as you can see where the shots took place. But ultimately, the referee was... If I'm completely honest with you, an absolute stinker, and it's time and time again we see these with the EFL games. They're not under the considerable spotlight that the Premier League boys are under. They get away with so much sloppiness. There was a massive tackle, I think. Well, Evans for starters didn't get no reprimand for the player who put him out. I think it might have been who was it? Who was it? I couldn't even remember who it was myself. I need to check the replay. But no dealings with that. Pearson with his constant shithousery did not get no discipline for any of his shenanigans. There was too many things going in favour of Preston today. It wasn't even funny. There was definitely a penalty shout, some dubious calls as well throughout the game. So Preston will be laughing, and they'll be looking forward to seeing whenever his name crops up as a referee, because he seems to favour Preston considerably. Let's have a look at the heat maps. If you're a heat map man just like me, as you can see down the right hand side, that was Nyambi's zone. He had Rafferty in his back pocket throughout the game, and I think once he went off, that was our chances to win this game. And Preston were laughing. They were laughing to the bank when he went off because they knew he ripped open Preston as a right back. Completely destroyed. We also saw the debut of Scott Sinclair, a BTEC version of Harry Chapman, of course. Forever in our shadow, Scott Sinclair. I don't know what you're paying for him, but I think it's a waste of money. Anyway, that's just a quick recap of what I had to say. What about the gaffer? What did he have to say about the match? Here he is, shortly after the final whistle.
Well, I think on the balance of play, it wouldn't have been an injustice if we got all 3. I think it was a typical derby game, right from the first whistle to the last. Nobody gave an inch, I don't think. A lot of just turn them round, play forward, a lot of one-touch forward passing, looking for errors, mistake, almost territorial at times. Can we play in their half? Can we play in their half? I think on the balance we had the better chances. I think we threatened their goal more. I think they scored a wonder goal. And yet it was an attritional game, I would say, as you might expect, a local derby match. I think we were helped, obviously, with Evans going off so early, Nyambi coming off so early in the second half. But on the back of Dak obviously not being available for us, it's the positives for me is that we went toe to toe. I like Preston. I think I respect Preston's nature of the way they play. I think they're very similar to us. They've got a camaraderie and a collective spirit amongst their team, which makes them difficult to play against. And for us, I'm not sure how many games that's unbeaten at home now. I can only think the opening day and then Luton. I think apart from that, I'm not sure. Teams are finding it really hard to play against us. I think ultimately we would have, on the balance of it, deserved to win today, but it wasn't to be. Put the point in the bag, move on to the next one and keep going. Yeah, I thought from the first minute it was a bit of a battle, to be honest, but as I say, I think, with total respect, it's not for me to tell you how Preston play, but that's what they are. As I said to you, they've got a collective spirit, as we've got a collective spirit. And sometimes when two teams who might not have the best players in the league, might not be able to control football matches with the ball for 90 minutes, you're in a football match when you play against either Blackburn Rovers or Preston North End, and I think today we both went toe to toe, and it was a tight game. I felt ultimately on the balance, on shots on target, on efforts, on territory around their box. I think we probably would have, if somebody was going to win it, it would have been us. But ultimately, we didn't get over the line. Yeah, I think we hit the post and we had Adam Armstrong bent one of them. We lost a goal at Forest recently like that, you know, coming in inside and bending it in the box. Everybody misses it. It's inside the post, and I think was it Gallagher at the back stick couldn't force it home. Tosson had a chance at the back stick that the keeper clawed out the top corner. Remember Holtby early on having a great strike that the keeper saved. You know, we had a lot of efforts at goal today. I don't know how many it was, but it was probably warranted more than one goal. And but credit to them, as I say, it was a derby game played in weather of fitting of a derby match in the northwest of England, and we share the spoils and we move on. Well, he's gone to hospital. The doctor said in his first impression was a broken nose and possibly cheekbone. He had oxygen mask on as he came past the dugout. He looked in a not too comfortable way, but he'll be fine, I'm sure. I was a centre half and I broke my nose a few times, had a few kicks in the face. It's sore to start with, but I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a warrior. He's a loss to us international footballer. Corey Evans is a very, very talented young guy. The way we plays on the front foot, anticipates, gets our team looking forward on transition, and he was a loss so early in the game for us. Nyambi was a loss because Nyambi, first half, I thought was a massive threat to them down the right side, and so yeah, and as I say, ally that to Dak. It's not easy for us, but they're still fighting and showing that they are giving everything for the club.
Now, a little bit what I had to say about the match. You've heard what the gaffers had to say. What about the fans? What do they say on social media? Well, let's take a little look, shall we? Marcus RTID, aka the Swedish Rover. This is starting to get annoying. Refereeing embarrassing. Need to start getting wins again. Callum Atkins said this. Good performance, Preston. Once again having the advantage of a bent referee. Got away with murder all game long. Turkish Delight, aka at Rovers. Well, a point is no good for either side. Feel for SG. The lad's as much of a winger as the Axe was. We haven't got the squad to finish it in the top six, and with a manager who insists on playing a striker he spent 5 million on the wing, we ain't finishing top six anytime soon. Josh, aka at me, Josh B. Game was gone as soon as Nyambi went off. Fair points, bang on the nose there for me. Gary Bennett, or Gary Barrett, aka Aiden, WB02, dominated a lack of clinical fishers, gifted Peony a point today. Absolutely spot on. What else we got? We got Mike Delap, of course, the forever vocal Mike Delap. All in all, not the result we came for, but a decent showing for Rovers. That win needs to arrive soon, though, as respectable draws are only good if you pick up wins to accompany. Lundy in 1991 said, frustrating game, one we possibly should have won. Gallagher below par again, perhaps needs a move to Havant and Waterlooville to get things ticking. Liam, aka at Yates Sharple, said this. I know we've had some shit refs this year, but my God, that one topped the lot. Absolutely unbelievable shit. And again, the Swedish Rover pops in with a final comment. Hey EFL and Sky Bet Champ, the refereeing in this league is embarrassing. Sort it out, please. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the old championship, let's take a look at the results. Brentford put 3 past QPR with David Raya between the sticks. He's going to the Premier League, boys. He's on his way to the Premier League. As for us, though, we're stuck in the championship. Meanwhile, Luton lost at home. Birmingham picking up a win at long last for them, despite a red card. Barnsley 2-1 winners over Huddersfield. They're on the move. Stoke City 0, Millwall 0 in the Gary Rowett derby. Rovers against Preston in the game of the day, of course, was a 1-1 draw. Wigan lost at home against Bristol City, who are back moving in the right direction. Charlton 2, West Brom 2. The top two dropping points today. West Brom picking up a point, which could be seen as it'll push them outright lead. Hull City 0, Fulham 1. Big win for Fulham away from home. Leeds did lose, though. It's banana skin there as they drop points to Sheffield. All 3 to Sheffield Wednesday, our next opponents. Reading 1, Forest 1. 2 sides that had recent good form. Continued with a positive point for them. Middlesbrough 2, Derby 2. Lastminute.com equaliser for Wayne Rooney's derby. Not Cocko's, it's Rooney's. And then tomorrow it'll be the South Wales derby. I think that's what they call it. Cardiff City against Swansea City. Let's take a look at what the table looks like as it stands. West Brom outright lead now with a 1 point. Brentford closing in, though, just 6 points adrift of Leeds. That 6 points will soon be gobbled up, Leeds, if you don't start switching on and get yourselves into the Premier League. Brentford third, Fulham fourth. Forest 5th. Wednesday, our next opponents. Again, I'm saying it, 6th in the table. Down the bottom is Luton, Wigan and Barnsley. Going down to the League One if it was to end today. Preston remain in 10th, or they might have moved up to 10th, I don't know. Rovers are in 12th, still 5 points off the playoffs, but realistically, those dreams are out the window. Let's take a look at what else is going on next week in the Championship. We'll kick it all off on Friday. Fulham against Middlesbrough, 7:45 UK time. As for the next games on Saturday, the early kickoff, it's QPR against Leeds. There's always goals with QPR, but I'm sure that Leeds will fancy the chances to get back to winning ways. Again, Derby against Hull, Swansea against Wigan, Huddersfield against Brentford, Millwall against Reading, Birmingham City against Cardiff, Bristol City against Barnsley, the Battle of the Bees. Today's opponents, Preston will go to Charlton. Into Sunday, we've got Forest against Luton, and into Monday Night Football, it's West Brom against Stoke City. But the game of the weekend will be at Hillsborough. It'll be Sheffield Wednesday up against Blackburn Rovers, baby. That's right. Obviously, between now and then, there's a whole week of nothing. Well, when I say nothing, it's FA Cup replays, all that kind of stuff. But hopefully, there's some transfer activity on the horizon for Rose. We need some reinforcements. I think I've heard quotes today about a winger, possibly a centre forward, whatever. I don't know what's up the gaffer's sleeve. Hopefully he's got some good ideas, irons in the fire, and maybe we can pull out a rabbit out of a hat that can actually get us back on track. 5 points right now is nothing. We could possibly get ourselves back into it, but right now, if the transfer window was to slam shut and no new additions were coming in, I fear that it's going to be a mid-table obscurity. What I said in the actual instant match reaction, I think this season is over. I did say this at the start of the thing. I think it is over. It's more of a consolidation season for Rovers. Dak's not going to go anywhere in the summer with an injury like that. So let's just write off the next 5-6 months. Build something. Maybe bring a player or two in to kind of defence, governor. Defence. Get some defenders in. And maybe try and build some momentum, some confidence, a new style of play. Because we have to play without Dak. Obviously, this formation is probably custom made for Dak. Without him there, pulling the strings, we need to do something else. A 4-4-2, 3-5-2, 5-2-3, whatever you want to call it. Try something else, governor. We need to find something that's going to suit the players that we've got, and then hopefully get some momentum and confidence brewing back at Ewood Park. Because right now, unbeaten at Ewood Park. In 2020, but really it's what 5-6 games without a win. It's embarrassing, and we need to sort that out. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you bang that thumbs up, bang the subscribe if you're new, folks. We'll be back with some championship predictions, Premier League predictions at the start of the week, and of course the preview for Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. Until then, I'm out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.